What is up, everybody? Kristen here, coming to you from my kitchen. And so today I am going to show you some of the staples that I have in my house that I really pretty much use every single week with pretty much everything I cook. So all of these things are condiments that are really little to no fat, calories, things like that. These are things that make your food taste good, because a lot of people seem to think that when you eat healthy or you eat clean that it's very bland and it doesn't taste good. You have to play around with flavors. That's all I can tell you. I have learned that with the right seasonings and with the right herbs and spices, I buy a lot of fresh spices and herbs, things like fresh basil and dill and cilantro and lemons and limes. Those things add tremendous punches of flavor to your foods. So as long as you know that you can try different things and add different things, you will see that the flavors will pop and taste so fresh. So I'm gonna go through my list of my basics that I use. So for cooking, I use the coconut oil, okay? The organic, unrefined coconut oil. This is a healthy fat. You can use this in place of cooking with olive oil, but I do use both. Then I have pink Himalayan sea salt, which is a great condiment too, better than your regular table salt. If you can't find that, this is like in natural food aisles. I use regular sea salt as well, which is fine. Ground cinnamon, I use cinnamon in a lot of my breakfast things. I find, if I make my overnight oats or my oatmeal or still cut oats, or even on my toast with almond butter and honey, I add a little bit of cinnamon. This is a really good seasoning. Try to find seasonings that are salt-free or low sodium, because these seasonings can add salt. So you want to make sure you control the salt intake, because we are women, and when we add salt to our diet or too much of it, we tend to get bloated and then we feel disgusting. So this one is a really good one. It's a little spicy. My husband likes spicy. I put this on our grilled chicken. But there's tons of these out there, different ones. And I recommend using a seasoning like this over a liquid seasoning that you might find, like, your soy sauce. Those add a ton of sodium and they'll kill you. Garlic powder. Obviously you can see I use this all the time in everything I do. I need to get some more, but garlic powder is a great seasoning. I use fresh garlic too. Sometimes I buy the crushed garlic to save me time. I really don't chop up garlic very often. I try to do the shortcuts. Raw honey, also need to get some more of that sucker, but I use that a lot. It's a great natural sweetener. I do not use sugar basically ever. But I used to drink my coffee light and sweet with tons of sugar. But once you stop that and you find other natural ways to sweeten things, you will be hooked on it. And when you eat real sugar again, it's way too sweet. Whole wheat seasonings, breadcrumbs. I use, like, if I make chicken cutlets for the kids, which they do love, I use this. Or sometimes you can do, there's all different things that you can do, but you can even puree almonds and use that as like a breadcrumb substitute, and I bake them in the oven. Crushed tomatoes. Honestly, I have to have these in my house at all times, because I use them for so many different recipes, and it's great to make your own sauce. I'm not like an old school Italian where I make the sauce and it's simmering all day. I kind of just use this in many different ways. I'm going to show you how to make some sauce where you can sneak in lots of vegetables and nobody will know. Different sprays I use, instead of using just olive oil. Sorry, my microwave's going off. This is cooking spray, and it is, I think this one is coconut oil. Yeah, so this is coconut oil, kind of similar to this one, but I just use the spray. Then I use my Pam. Nut butters. Oh my gosh, we go through so much of this. We do almond butter and peanut butter. And you want to check the ingredients. Guys, Skippy with a lot of sugar is not what you want. Check the ingredients. Oh, organic peanuts, 1 ingredient. That is key. You always want to check how many ingredients these things have. If you have something that you cannot read the ingredients on, you don't want it. That's not good for your body. All right, so almond butter. Then, your regular EVOO, which I use to make dressings and things like that. Apple cider vinegar. I will show you guys how to make a really yummy dressing using these. And then some more spices. all-purpose seasoning, which I use pretty much all the time. Pepper, I love pepper, fresh pepper on most of my food, and then vanilla extract. So those are just some of the things that I use in my cooking. I will be showing you some more basics that I use. I'm gonna be showing you what I'm prepping for the week because I do food prep usually on Sundays. Yesterday was a little nutty, so I am prepping today, but I will show you a lot of the things that I make weekly because it's all about grab and go. You wanna be successful with your clean eating, and if you wanna lose weight, you need to have stuff available to pack with you as you go. And even if you're like a stay-at-home mom, I still like make my salads and things like that ahead of time. So when I'm hungry, all of a sudden I just go reach in the refrigerator and I have it ready to go. So I'm not reaching into my pantry, into the kids' cookies. So that's the key. It really is, the secret to success is planning ahead. So I will be back and I will show you some of my food prep for the week. Okay, everybody, so here we are. This is my spread of food for the week. And this is not even all of it. I am gonna do a few more things. But I wanna preface this by saying, I don't have a big kitchen. I don't have a lot of counter space. I do what I can do and I make it happen. So you don't have to have a lot of time or space to do this. Not time, but a lot of space to do this. So the first thing that I make, and I will show you pictures of this, every single week, I just change what I use in them. These are egg muffins. And basically you just whip them up like you would scrambled eggs, like in a bowl. I used a dozen eggs. I also do mix in egg whites, which I buy the liquid egg whites because who has time to do the back and forth with the egg to get the egg white out? That's a time saver. And I add in the vegetable of the week, whatever it may be. So this week I did broccoli and cheddar, which is so yummy together. So these are kind of like little mini quiches, I guess you could say, minus the crust, which is a good part. But these are perfect. I make these every single week. I just change out what I add into them. Sometimes I add spinach and onion. Sometimes I add peppers and onions. Sometimes I add kale. Sometimes I add spinach and broccoli and cheese. You pick what you like and just change it up every week so you don't get bored of them. And you just add it all into the bowl, and then I ladle them actually into muffin pans, and I bake them in the oven at 325 until they rise up. They're gonna rise up like souffles and be all bubbly. When you do take them out, they are going to deflate a little bit like this. It's kind of like your breasts after breastfeeding. You guys know what I'm talking about. But these are a staple in my house. These are great for breakfast. I grab 2 a day. My husband grabs 2 a day for breakfast. If you have a side of whole grain toast with this and some berries, you have an amazing breakfast. And it's grab and go. It's done for you. I keep them usually in a Ziploc. Over here, I made green beans. I bought green beans that were already bagged that you can steam in the microwave. And I steamed them for 5 minutes. And then I just sauteed them in a little bit of coconut oil and garlic. And some sea salt, and that's it. And I got them a little crisp up. My kids like them like that, so that's how I make them. This is a side dish for maybe 2 of my meals this week. Done, ready to go. Then we move over to my chicken. I can't see, the sun is shining in here. I made 2 different kinds of chicken. I had 2 packages of the lean chicken breasts cut up, and I use different seasonings. So some of them I have that spicy seasoning I showed you earlier, and my husband likes that spicy stuff. I don't love spicy. So then mine are just with the Italian seasonings. I also had some leftover chicken burgers that I made. Now those I usually grab for a quick lunch for my husband. I give him some avocado and he puts that on top of it, and with a side salad, that's a quick lunch. So this grilled chicken usually is lunches for me and my husband. I usually make wraps out of them, or I add some brown rice and some veggies to them. Quick, ready to go. Again, you're gonna hear me say this again and again and again. It's about grab and go, grab and go. Next, I have some hard-boiled eggs, which I just usually make about a dozen of them because my husband and I both take them for the week. I just put them in some salted boiling water about 10 minutes, and then I put them in an ice bath to stop the cooking and to make them easier to peel off. 2 of these is a serving. So I usually eat those plain or with like a handful of whole grain crackers, or even, with an apple on the side, and that's a great snack. Then I cut up some fruit. I chunked up a whole melon. My kids will probably eat that in a day, probably less than a day, but at least it's ready to go. So they're outside playing right now, so I'm sure when they come in and they tell me they're hungry, I'll put this out for them, or even the berries that they already ate half of. So I washed these berries up. I put them in the container. And again, these are grab and go for the kids, for yourself. Just portion them out. If you really want to save some time, you can portion them out into little Ziplocs or little containers, and then you have them ready to go too for the week. Back here, let me move these out of the way. I have little baggies of raw veggies. I have carrots. Oh no, let me show you this one. I have carrots, peppers, and cucumbers. And these are grab and go. So I made 6, 3 for my husband. He does not like hummus, but I do. So 3 for my husband and 3 for me. And then what I did was, I like my veggies dipped in hummus. I bought these little mini travel size hummuses, plain hummus, and I put them right in the baggie. So I'm gonna put those right in my refrigerator, and when I'm hungry, I grab the entire bag and I have my whole snack ready to go. I don't have to chop anything. I don't have to go scooping hummus out of a big container and trying to figure that out. It's done. Okay, that is a key. You could do that with your fruit, you could do that with your veggies. All right, then over here I have my red quinoa, which I am gonna show you some cool recipes this week that I'm gonna make with this. This is a great side dish with your dinner, done, ready to go. But I'm also gonna show you some other meals that you can make with it. And quinoa is so good for you. It's a really great grain. It has protein and fiber, really good for you. Then I have some roasted veggies that I made. So I have roasted Brussels sprouts with onions and garlic and sea salt. And this is butternut squash chunks, which I already bought chunked up because that's a time saver. You may pay a little bit more for it, but I will tell you, if you've ever tried to get a whole butternut squash, it's a pain in the butt. You would have to pierce it with a fork, put it in the microwave, soften it up, cut it down the middle, roast it in the oven, scoop it out. It's a pain. So if you do want a time saver, buy already chunked up. Now I will tell you, I could make a soup from this. All you do is puree it with the onions and the garlic with some low sodium organic vegetable broth or chicken broth. You could even add a little bit of cream to it. You just use like half and half. You might throw in your coffee, like maybe about a tablespoon or so, and you puree it and it's a delicious soup. Great lunch. Otherwise you can just eat it as a side dish. So that is everything I made. I will tell you, I normally make also little turkey meatballs with ground turkey meat, which I'll show you this week as well. And you can make that with spaghetti and meatballs for the kids. I'll show you how I make my sauce. And I also usually bake up some sweet potatoes. I have to go to the store and get some. I didn't have any. So sweet potatoes, once they're baked up, I'll use them as a side dish with a dinner. So if you have sweet potatoes cooked, and let's say you just want to grill up a steak, right? You just throw the steak on the grill. You have your side dish here, a sweet potato, done. Same thing, you have vegetables. You can boil up some pasta, throw some veggies in it, it's done. So your meals are gonna be a lot quicker depending on what you make on your prep day. So these are just samples of what I do. If you have any other ideas of other things that you would think you would like prep, just let me know. But these are some of the things, the staples that I do week after week after week. And I just change out my vegetables and my fruits according to what's in season, more or less, and what my family likes. My kids happen to eat Brussels sprouts, which is weird because I thought they were disgusting as a kid, but they like it. So let me know if you have any questions. And again, I'm telling you, this will take you some time. I promise you, it will take time. But get your kids involved, get your spouse involved, get whoever, get the dog involved, whatever, and get it done, because this will save your life during the week. And you'll make healthier choices, you'll have food on hand, and you won't want to just go out and get something because you didn't plan ahead. Your life is busy, so take some of the time where it takes you to do silly things like this, cooking meals, to spend with your family. All right, I hope this helped, guys. See you later.